Hello there and welcome back to another review. So today we're going to be having a look at Donnie Yen's Flashpoint. What a blast. What a complete blast this film is. This is an amazing Donnie Yen film. I'm going to be getting into today as to why that is. What I love about this movie right away, yes, it's a great Donnie Yen movie, but what I love about it most is just a straight to the point, no nonsense action thriller. The clock's in around, it's only around 80 minutes long, this movie, but what you get with this movie is like just a full-on simple martial arts, cops, that kind of thing, but it's all in there, and that doesn't seem that long. I mean, you think the film's 80 minutes, right? If you've never seen Flashpoint, the film's 80 minutes. The whole finale, the ending, the end sequence to the film, that's 20 minutes of its runtime. Like, the finale to this is 20 minutes, and it's an all-out action, but it's a brilliant movie. Does it follow certain traits? Yes. Is the plot somewhat predictable? Yes. But do you get Donnie Yen kicking ass and doing some of the best fight choreography you will ever see? Hell yes, you do. Like, you get amazing stuff in this from Donnie Yen. It's probably, as I say, probably one of my favourite in terms of, like, not his classic era, like sort of, you know, the late 80s and then the 90s, sort of when he was sort of not overly well known. It wasn't until, like, he sort of done the Highlander film and sort of then he got work on, like, Blade 2. The people start to begin to really take notice of Donnie Yen, obviously, like, most recently being in, like, John Wick 4. But Flashpoint is a real testament to Donnie Yen, and I always found it so amazing how, with Donnie Yen, how different, because I grew up on, like, Jackie Chan's and the Sammo Hungs and the Yuen Woo Pings and films like that, and it was amazing how different, especially in Donnie Yen's, like, later films when he had a lot more control, like this one here. High Voltage was another one, New Big Boss. There's loads of Donnie Yen movies. Shanghai Affairs is another one, but it's amazing how different his style was to sort of that Jackie Chan thing, and it's very, like I say, Jet Li style, Jackie Chan's, Donnie Yen, they're all very different. So when I was watching these movies sort of growing up, they all had their own thing going on. So there was a lot to be enjoyed with every single one of these, like I say, these stars. Made in 2006 and directed by the man who helmed all of the Ip Man movies in Wilson Yip, who has also worked with Donnie a number of times, including Dragon Tiger Gate and Killzone, otherwise known as Xiao Po Lang. And what people often take from this film is the use of mixed martial arts in the movie. I mean, we have locks, grapples, throws, you name it, and so good is the action choreography in the movie that I think it even bagged Donnie Yen the best choreography award at the Hong Kong Film Awards. We get everything in this movie: taekwondo, wrestling, wushu, kickboxing. You know, it's all in there. I think the film was originally going to be a sequel to Killzone, or at least it started out to be. Like, I think that was what was originally planned, or what it was going to be. But I think it took on a life of its own. I think as well there was something to do with the copyright or something along them lines. But as I say, make no mistake, this is an in and out, no nonsense action movie. We have Louis Ko here again, who was in my previous review for Robin B. Hood, and I think his part was originally offered to Aaron Kwok. I think Aaron Kwok was originally going to be in this movie, but I think Aaron turned it down. We also get Ken Chung here, or Ken Cheng, who is a lot of you remember from Crime Story. We also have Colin Chu here, like in the Matrix sequels, Bodyguard from Beijing, Dr. Wei, to name but a few movies. He was in Forbidden Kingdom as well with Jackie and Jet. And if you know your Hong Kong movies, you'll know who he is. But in terms of plot and narrative, this film does nothing groundbreaking. It doesn't do anything original in terms of the plot and what's happening with the story and the characters. But as I say, in terms of, this is the kind of film, like, especially if you're a group of young lads or whatever, and you're getting into kung fu movies, and you're, I don't know, just having a chilled night, or you're having a few beers or something, stick Flashpoint on, enjoy yourself, and just really enjoy some amazing mixed martial arts. But as I say, when the action is this good, the plot and the narrative doesn't need to be that amazing. Even just for the finale alone, this film is worth the price of admission. It's worth checking in on this movie just for the last 20 minutes. And for just over 80 minutes of your time for an action Hong Kong police kung fu movie, you could definitely do a lot worse than Flashpoint. I will try and get through a lot more Donnie Yen's, especially some of his early stuff, like I mentioned, her Legend of the Wolf, High Voltage, and Drunken Tai Chi, Mismatched Couples. There's loads and loads and loads of Donnie Yen's I've got to review. Just bear with me, because I'd say, well, like I mentioned many times whenever I'm doing a review, there's so many films that I want to get across my thoughts and opinions on. Films that I've seen ages ago, films I've seen like at various points in my life that I want to just get out there, what I thought about it, what I loved about it, that kind of thing. So the film opens right away with Donnie just walking into this gym to bust this guy. Like, just he walks right in there and starts beating him up. This is like within the first 30 seconds of the movie. He just starts beating this guy up, just playing the typical hard edge, no nonsense cop, always wanting to do the right thing. Stars with this club scene where we have Colin Sheridan as the evil Tony and his brothers Archer and Tiger. Already in this scene alone, you can tell that grappling is going to be a big part of the movie. So Donnie plays Jun Ma and is the typical cop that gets results, but his superiors don't like his methods, that kind of thing. The whole dirty Harry, like he gets results, but they're not always on board with sort of the way he goes about it. So this group of men wanted Colin Sheridan's cronies to transport some drugs, and the leader, Sammy, is not happy with the results, and they really drive on home that Tony, Colin Cho's character, is not to be messed with. I mean, he's not, when you look at Colin Cho, he's not like that formidable like looking. He doesn't, what I'm saying is he's not towering, he hasn't got loads of muscles, but he does have he's got a great, you often usually cast as like I say a villain or an antagonist in them kind of roles. They confront them at this driving range, and the guy's like a thing possessed. So Wilson Coe's character is working undercover to infiltrate these three brothers, and that is all the film is about. It really, in a nutshell, as I say, it's really, really simple. These three bad dudes, and Donnie Yen has to stop them. That's all it is. They're just bad. He has to get them. So Tony getting ahead of his station even threatens one of these elders and his wife and his son if they don't back out of their business. Tiger goes to knife the crap out of the guy Sam, who wanted to use them for business, but Wilson sort of saves him. As I say, obviously he's undercover, saves him as the driver saying the cops are coming. Sam says he will testify against them in hospital. So it's very simple. You've got a bit of an undercover, and it's amazing actually when you look at it like with Flashpoint and Killzone. Donnie Yen does, although it's a Donnie Yen film, he does take a bit of a back seat. He's not like he's top billing, but he does take a back seat through, like, sometimes he's not on screen for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes. It's like with Killzone, where with Simon Yam's character, Simon Yam pretty much sets up and is the main, you could argue, his character arc throughout Killzone. Donnie Yen is just there sort of coming in to sort of like put an end to the situation. It's a bit that same here. We've got Lewis Coe's character, who's very much sort of, the undercover story is just as important as Donnie Yen's, but Donnie Yen is, although he's the star, he's very much sort of taking a little bit, of a back seat. So the police plan to ambush the three brothers at their mother's birthday party, but they get wind of this and they move location. They go to their hideout and take their drug money. All the while, Wilson is there watching this. I have to say, these three are a great set of villains, and each one of them is super intimidating in their own way, and it's kind of like a set of villains you would have in, like, it's almost like a Bad Boys movie. It's almost like a Michael Bay sort of Bad Boys-esque with the villains, because they're so over the top. They're sort of so, like, in this a different world kind of thing, that's sort of what it's like it's playing into there. Just so they're over the OTT, they don't give a crap, they don't follow the law, they don't follow protocol, that kind of thing. Then we have like a high-speed pursuit with their mum, who they take with them, and she's puking, I might add. Archer gets caught. Tony finds out Wilson is a mole when he gets his phone off him and dials back the last number that was used, and that was actually Donnie Yen's. And really great, intense soundtrack too. And like I say, the movie is so simple. It is such a simple movie. So it's not one of these films that you can pick apart plot holes or things that didn't make sense or anything like that. The film is basically, let's do loads of action, but we'll have a bad group and we'll have a good guy who's chasing after him. One of his friends can be undercover, and that is just the setup for the movie. So basically, Really, really, really simple movie. Donnie checks their mum into a nursing home as she has dementia. Wilson is now in hospital after being run over by Tony, who vows that no one will be testifying. Basically, they're going to be testified against, and he doesn't want anybody testifying against him. That's all it comes down to. Going back to our group of villains, you get the smooth, smart one, you get the hot-headed, clumsy one. Of course, you get Colin Cho's like sort of brains of the outfit, so to speak. So Sam gets murdered quite brutally, I might add. Wilson gets released and is sort of semi-paralysed. Basically just these three brothers wanting to kill the people that are going to testify at this point. That's all the film's become. Donnie takes a back seat for a bulk of the movie, like I mentioned. He is still very much the lead, but he's not on screen all the time. And I know I've just mentioned that, but it's very interesting when you watch it. If it was like a Hollywood production or anything like that, if it was a Tom Cruise movie or whatever, he would be in literally every other scene. Donnie Yen, for the most part, he does step back. He's not on screen all the time. Maybe it's that because he might have been enjoying the production. He might have been working on the fight choreography, that kind of thing. And just that 80 minutes, I'd say Donnie Yen's in it probably just over an hour or so, hour, 5 minutes in terms of screen time. So all these friends and colleagues are at Wilson's and a bomb arrives disguised as a chicken, literally, which Kent Cheng happily puts a foil container and a whole chicken into the microwave, I might add, as you do. The bomb goes off. Wilson and Ma take the bomber out to a very orange quarry, and Wilson just wants to kill the guy right there and then. I mean, to be fair, he is paralysed. He's lost his home. His boss is dead after dying in the bomb attack. So, you can't blame him for being a bit PO'd. So all the people that are going to testify get shot, and it's only Wilson as the last remaining witness, the guy, Lewis Coe's character, who was undercover. He finds out that his girlfriend is pregnant. Tiger goes to kill Wilson at the hospital, but Donnie fights him in the lift, which kills an innocent cop, and after gives chase while Wilson's girlfriend has been taken from hospital by Tony, who wants Wilson to change his plea. So basically, they kidnapped his girlfriend because they wanted to change his plea. So they think, right, we don't want you to testify, so we'll just do a kidnapping. So Donnie chases Tiger all the way to this market, and this is when the film ramps up. This is when the film, because it's been sort of cat and mouse a little bit up to this point, and again, like I say, I use that word simple. It is, there's nothing too hard to think about here. But at this point in particular, where he chases him to the market, this is when the film goes up, not just one notch, not just two notches, but several notches. It really does ramp up completely. I mean, it ramps up by like 100. Let's not kid ourselves here. Tiger has this girl hostage, and you look at the blood boil and rage on Donnie's face when he's got this girl hostage and he throws the girl, and you look at Donnie's face and he starts kneeing the crap out of him. Donnie Yen literally just starts kneeing him right in the face, like continuously. And it just looks so good on camera. It's just the way it's done. You'll also see on this part one of the most insane grapples and takedowns that I've ever seen. Done amazingly well by Donnie Yen. If you know the one I'm talking about, I don't even know what the move's called. For those of you who might be able to enlighten me, leave a note in the comments. But it's in the market scene. He sort of runs up to the guy, sort of goes behind his waist, and then sort of pulls him down. It's just incredible. If you have seen Flashpoint, let me know. It's just the way they film it and the way it comes out of nowhere. When it happens in the movie, so if you've never seen this, you will know the grapple I mean. Even when Tiger is beat, Donnie just keeps going. Even though he's beat the guy, Donnie Yen just is relentless. He is pulverizing the guy. Donnie Yen is absolutely destroying him. He's punching the crap out of him. It really is an amazing scene of the movie, and I'd say actually kills him as well. Archer gets released, to which Donnie just picks him up and throws him into a railing. Donnie grabs his phone and finds out where Tony is, who is beating the crap out of Wilson at this stage, because remember, he's got his girlfriend from all this because he wants him to change his plea. This is all this is about. So Donnie has Archer and Tony has Wilson basically, and his girlfriend. Donnie marches Archer in at gunpoint. They do an exchange by boat. It's sort of like the finale. It's sort of like an abandoned shanty town. That's sort of where they do the rendezvous, where they do the meet. Though Tony, being the sadist that he is, shoots Wilson after he crosses, and Donnie blows off most of Archer's ear for good measure. They do the exchange, and then Tony sort of, as he's such a bad dude, he just opens fire, even though the exchange was done. And so begins the amazing non-stop, action-packed kung fu John Woo-esque finale. You will be hard if you're an action fan, if you're a kung fu fan, if you're a martial arts fan. like I say, a gunplay fan, anything like that, if you like films like The Matrix, if you like John Woo movies, if you like heroic bloodshed movies, if you like gunplay, if you like kicks, punches, grapples, everything, watch the last 20 minutes of Flashpoint, because this is where it's almost like they had this amazing set piece, right, that they were going to do, this amazing sort of, right, we've got this idea for a 20-minute finale, right, and it's almost like they said, right, but let's just build a film around that. But there's gunplay. It turns into, like I said, a John Woo machine gun firefight with shotguns all the while, looking so cranked up. Like the whole movie, like the last 20, it's like it's on speed. Like the whole movie, it is absolutely relentless, the ending to this movie, and I can't stress it enough. Because up to this point it's been good, it's been okay, right, we've had a bit of action, we've had a little bit of car chases, we've had a little bit of this and that, hasn't really gone overboard with everything, but the last 20 minutes of this film more than make up for the lack of action throughout the first hour of the movie. It's absolutely, I say, it's just relentless, and it's like with Super Cop as well, like Police Story 3 with Jackie Chan. The last 20 minutes of the movie just blew me away, just completely blew me away, and it's a bit like a Police Story 3 vibe running through it as well, in that there's not really a hell of a lot of action in Police Story 3 for the most part, but a lot of people, they say it's one of the best action films of all time. That's largely because of the ending of the movie, thanks to Stanley Tong, and it's the same here. Why this is so good, it's the ending of the movie, that you just come out of it, and when you see it and you walk away, you're exhausted after the ending of this movie. It really is incredible. It just blew me away. It doesn't stop. It keeps on going and going and going. It's the whole I mean, you watch the ending of this, and this basically sums up the whole reason why I watch action movies. Especially Hong Kong action movies. I love how Ma makes off between the grass and the fields with a huge, massive, like, sniper rifle. Wilson returns still alive and runs the crap over, like, out of Archer. Even the music work here is just so buzzing and so intense. As I say, taking a plot that is by the numbers, but throwing so much energy at the damn thing that it's almost impossible to resist. That's what they really do well here. Again, when he is fighting Tony, we get the grapples, the locks, the breakers. I mean, the two fight at the end, and Colin, it is so good. Believe me, the end fight is so good. You will probably never ever see a more exhilarating last 20 minutes in the kung fu movie world. You really will not. I mean, it just, like I say, it just doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. When it should end, it doesn't. It just keeps, like Police Story 3, it just keeps going and going. I can't say enough about this fight. You will just have to watch it. As me describing it is never going to do it justice. I'm not going to go through the ins and outs of the fight. It's probably on YouTube. Probably somebody's uploaded it. But definitely watch the film all the way through. It makes it a lot more intense. Donnie even doing like a wind-up punch at one point. He does like a sort of, so he winds up at like a punch he's about to do, doing loads of, he does loads of like Bruce Lee type feints and moves and like what's going on, boxing, you name it, it's all in there. No like massive like post end scene or anything like that. As soon as he beats him, the film is over. Like as soon as he beats Tony and he's sort of basically owned him and just like taken him out, the film just ends. There's no sort of, right, what happens to Donnie Yen's character, where do they go from here? The film just ends. But I love this movie. Well, as a whole, you could argue it probably could have done with a bit more padding. I think that's what I think you could say about this film. It probably could do with it could have done with a little few more scenes here and there, but I think credit to the filmmakers, we won't waste your time. You know, you wanted a kick-ass action movie, an action film, and you get that with this movie. You really do. In and out, straight to the point, simple good guys versus bad guys with one hell of a finale, and probably like some of the best 20 minutes of action that I've ever seen. So make sure to, if you want a good, awesome Donnie Yen movie to check out, make sure to go and check out Flashpoint. So thank you very much indeed for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you again soon.
Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory.